elite. Not elite, but you can't beat Soreen. Let's check we're in and on and over here. Are we in and on and over here? What the fuck?
Hey, I'm ready. Who are you? You want to join the...
Whoa, whoa. Couple of gremlins in the system here. Where's that coming from? That should not be happening. We're in, we're on, we're over here, I think. No idea why that's coming through the speakers, but don't matter, does it? We're in, we're on, we're over, we're here. Underlap. A couple of days early because it's my birthday tomorrow and I am working, so I'll be out tomorrow night, and then I'm working Thursday night, so I've no chance. Yes, Peacocks, what's good, brother? Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I'm working tomorrow night, so I've no chance of being in any sort of shape. It'll be recovery mode and then just getting back out and at it as soon as possible on Thursday. So I need to be relatively careful. We're in, aren't we? It's coming through my fucking speakers, which is not what I'm after. Although it's tremendous to know that it does do that. So yeah, what's good, everybody? I'm going to flick through some comments on the video, but you know what time it is. I forgot to mention him, forgot to get him in. Get this badger, or get that badger, not this badger, but get him away. Let's start again. Get that badger. In and on and over here. He's in, he's on, he's over, he's here, he's loving it. It's all a bit messy, this. But we're getting there. We're making do. Making do with what we've got. That's all you can do. What's good, everybody? I'm going to read some comments out from Sunday's video because it went dummy like it does. Nobody do it how we does it. But firstly, Cruise Camper. It's the Underlap way. I wouldn't normally have a beer on Tuesday, but it's the Underlap way in it. Can't do it on Thursday, so Tuesday beer. Had a pint with me mate because he's got a big day tomorrow, so I went and had a pint with him and then thought I'll race back, do a quick underlap. That rhymes. By no means deliberate, I assure you. I want to go through some comments that people have made. Yes, Ming, what's good, brother? I'm going to do... I think it's only appropriate that I actually comment on some positive comments as well as the negative comments. There's actually not many negative comments, to be fair, because it's remarkable. I do these videos and I see a lot of shit online, I see a lot of woof and a lot of nonsense, and then, you know, I put some online and obviously I get a lot of stick, but I also I would say 90% of people. And it's not, that's not like me saying giving me stick like my opinion's not valid. I think the point is, I think most people understand what I'm at least trying to say. Whether I say it well or not is a total other thing. Went on Just Joe's last night, spoke about it at length really. All of us did. You're allowed to criticise the team or criticise the manager or whatever, but the thing is, because people say that I would not criticise the team or players, which is not true. Just try and sort of have some sort of view other teams the same way, and if you say, for instance, if you're listening to radio or listening to any pundit, and I know they're all shit, but inclusive of me, but any pundit would sort of say they don't watch all the games, for instance, so you'll listen to TalkSport and they'll just say flippantly, Leeds will be all right, and as much as I think that's a horrendous analysis of what's going on at Leeds United, it's also kind of true and kind of fair towards what is actually occurring at the club. It's not I know that's not an analysis just by going the Leeds will be all right, but it's also like looking at it from afar, like we do for a lot of the other clubs. Like where you watch sort of like you watch odd Premier League game and that. Oh, well, I watch quite a lot of Premier League games, but you sort of have a sniff, you have a feeling towards certain clubs, don't you? And you know they're going to do all right, and we are going to be all right as well. We are going to be all right. Of that, there's no doubt. So I did a video the other day about getting rid of Farke just to see what everybody was saying. I want to try to find a couple of negatives first because it's probably easy to talk about the negatives. The thing about being negative is I honestly think it's the easiest thing to do. I think it's harder to actually. I don't think I get caught, a happy clapper, this type of thing is like a thing, or you're just a happy clapper. But ultimately, I'm not positive about what happened on Saturday. Anybody that thinks that's a positive result or a positive performance is in cloud cuckoo land, man. But also has to be dragged out over the course of the 18 games that we've played, and that is not a representation. You can give it big licks as much as you want and come out of woodwork whenever we lose a game, but ultimately that is not a reflection of how we have been playing over the 18 games. If you don't want to go over the 18 games and you only want to go over the away form, then that's fine to some extent, but that's just the away form. The thing is, when you're going well, and this is what I would say, when you're going well, you're in a position where it's quite easy to work out what's wrong with the club. So when you can pinpoint it towards one thing, like saying, our away form's not very good, our away form is the problem. That's an example of something being quite simplistic, but gets to the point quite quickly and is true. So it's like, but that's diagnosable. Do you know what I mean? It's not like what is going wrong. Like, we have a decent team, we've done whatever, and then nothing's happening, or we're still shit, or we're like Hull City or whatever, just collapsing, and we're nowhere near that level. It's just that we're on about fine tuning. Also, as bad as our away record currently is, it's only what is it? What we actually on? Is it we've lost 2 away from home, haven't we? I'm aware that there's been some draws, 4 draws, 2 defeats in 9. So granted, only 3 wins away from home. This is not me defending our away form. It's been really poor. It's nowhere near good enough. But one of the it's either your away form's going to be good or your home form's going to be good. We're still 3rd in the league, so as home form currently is dragging us out, it'd be interesting, to be fair. It'd actually be quite funny if we sort of carried on with this away form and just won every game at home and then still went up, which would probably be the case. We've got, as I said the other day, another 6 games affordable to lose. That doesn't mean we want to lose them, and it certainly doesn't mean that we want to lose them anytime soon. Want to hold out for as long as physically possible before we lose again. Evidently, could do with a big bounce back at the weekend, which I do believe we'll get. We've got a pretty decent run of games. Every game's winnable. Every game should be won, and I think that's where the beginning of the meltdown comes from. Like, we should be winning the games, so when we don't win the game... Also, I think there's like a knee-jerk reaction where Blackburn become like the worst side in football history because they beat us. They beat us on a penalty, which has sort of been ignored. I know they created a couple of chances, but they wasn't particularly good. We was just very poor. And then, we lose the game on a penalty. Silly decision. Silly... I thought it was a penalty, but a silly bit of madness from Tanaka, really. Not madness, because it wasn't a wild challenge, but it was naive, a bit dumb, a bit like, to be fair, like I've said all week, a bit leggy. It was like a leggy type of thing, like you're just half a yard off at pace and then you're not quite at it. Yes, Jay. Agreed, big lad. He seemed leggy going in, like as though that's when your legs betray you, don't you, when you're a bit knackered. And everybody's saying, oh, well, they've all had 3 games in 6 days or whatever, and this type of that nonsense. But they're also, I don't think they're performing towards the level that we're performing at. I could get through 3 games in 6 days if I wasn't really doing much. I think we're performing to a pretty decent level. I think we've got another couple of gears to go through, which is actually positive. Didn't know you were on Just Joe last night. I was going to go on Joe today and say free JackCity. Yeah, no, he let me back on. The black sheep was I felt like Bob. Felt like I'd been banned. I'm only messing. The problem is that joke will get back to Joe, and then he'll send me a text like saying, "What's this shit you've been spreading about me?" I've never Joe. Well, he might ban me. I don't know. Maybe he will. Hopefully he does. I hope Joe cancels me, and then I can come for him, and I can get on channel, and I can create a big beef. Do my subscription rate. It'd go through the roof, or it'd collapse. One at two things. But if we had a big beef against each other, it'd be like two rappers like planning it all against each other and going in on him. I'd be able to say stuff about him, like really nasty shit. I'd have to dream some stuff up there, like some actual nasty shit. I'd have to make some stuff up because I don't have any dirt on Joe, unfortunately. But I could create some. I could make some stuff up. That's what it's all about, really. Once you've said it, it becomes true, doesn't it? If you've got to say, like, I don't know, if 1,000 people watch a video of me telling a lie about Joe, we're in, aren't we? If 500 of you believe it, it goes viral, doesn't it? It doesn't go viral, but it goes all over his channel. Everybody weighing in on comments. We'll look to that further down the line. Richard Mel. Feb is going to be very tough. We have Sheffield United, Watford, Coventry away and Sunderland at home. I'm worried about February right now, Richard, but I am obviously on board with that. That is a difficult run of games. Ultimately, by February, we could do with a bit of daylight. Obviously, we could have done with a bit of daylight since the first game of the season. But I do think that the running up to Christmas. Let me have a little. I don't want to butcher this. So, the run up to Christmas, you can't imagine us losing many games. That doesn't mean we won't, but we do. It is favourable. So we've got obviously Derby on Saturday, Middlesbrough at home on Tuesday, that's obviously a difficult game, but that's probably the most difficult game up to Christmas. Preston away, Oxford at home, Stoke away, Derby away, and then Blackburn again on 1st of January. So by that, and then you've got Hull on 4th. So games come thick and fast, as we well know. But really I mean, there's no... I said this on Joe's show last night. There's no point me going through and saying like 3 points, 6 points, 9 points, 12 points, 15 points, because I'm going through every single one of them games, and it's like, yeah, well, that's 3 points, well, that's 3 points, well, that's 3 points, and that's not going to be the case, is it? It might be the case though, in all seriousness, because we might just go. There's no reason why we can't go on a run of them games. To be fair, Ming 59 handing out them memberships like it's Christmas yet again. Well, it is Christmas, but like he's Santa Claus, my man Ming. Philip Anderson, hi mate, just join and smash the like for you, bro. Yes, lad, cheers, dude. So annoying how a portion of the fan base is just so overactive with the result of last match. They're just waiting, man. They're waiting to come in on that. It's like they've gone right quiet, and it had gone round Twitter, just in general. Like people had been like, "Oh, where have you gone? Where are you at? You've all done one, ditched us." And then and then there's a loss comes in, and then they come flying back in. I mean, the irony is, and I don't mean this in a self. I couldn't give a shabba, but so the video I put out with the Farke out on Sunday. I mean, Sunday tends to be quite a good day for me to release a video, in fairness. But that's had 3.1 thousand views, which is one of the best ones that I've had over the past couple of weeks. So the negativity, works in my favour in terms of the result. So I don't really understand why people think that I've got some sort of an agenda. If I was just after, if it benefited me to try and be positive about where Leeds United are and try and be objective about it, there's no benefit for me. I'm actually better off being, would the word be hyperbolic, and being aggressive and being like moody and being, you know, and just saying stuff for the sake of it. But I don't want to. It's not why I started the channel. It'd kill me if I felt like I were lying. So, you know, I legitimately don't think Farke needs to be moved on. I don't think there's a massive problem at the club. I think there's a few little bits that we need to iron out, and then, you know, we'll be all right. Losing a game does my channel a world of good. When we've lost a game, I don't want to do a video. I can't be bothered. Ironically, if we're in Premier League and we'd lost a few games on bounce, I'd do a video. I can take the hate. I'm not bothered about the hate. It's not the hate. It's just, you know, it's not. It's strange when we're in Championship doing these videos, to be honest, boys and Bob. It's like arguing with a brick wall, because like I really, truly, and I know I say this all the time, but I truly appreciate everybody that comments and like that I chat with and stuff. And I don't agree. Not everybody agrees with me. That's not what it's about. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good when people don't. But the talk to me with, like, you know, talk back to me. I'm just talking shit. Do you know what I mean? I've got no problem with having an argument. It's only about football, isn't it? You know, it's not a problem. But it becomes like, when we lose a game, a random game, it becomes like abusive. And I'd avoid the abuse if I don't care about the abuse, if I'm honest. But I'd avoid the abuse if I was super negative. But it's like you have to put up with it. You can't just I can't just betray what's happened over the last 18 games. We've lost 3 games in 18 games. That's not bad at any level. Now, whether that's enough, I think it's enough over the course of the season, because I think we're going to go up. But whether that's enough or not, it's not really the point either. In terms of, you know, just in general, at any level, 18 games, 3 losses would be a pretty decent result, wouldn't it? Yes, we are robots. That's what I mean, dude. It's like, you know, I can take it when we're losing more often. I know that sounds so mental, but I can sort of associate myself with it a little bit more. But when we're just losing one game and then the world is like just goes and it just like collapses in on you. It's like, how can that be? How can anybody really think that? How can you truly believe that? Like I said in my video the other day, I've got no problem with the Farke out. If you Farke out, say you Farke out, and that's totally fine. Let's go with it. Let's rock and roll. Let's roll with it. But you can't do a little bit of both. You can be honest and say, I'm not sure about Farke, you know. That's a different statement than being like, you're being super negative, but you're not looking at the whole picture of it. You're not saying, oh, well, you know, you're not calling the players out, for instance. It's really difficult when we're winning lots of games to have like a grown-up conversation. And then I did the video and it's like everybody weighing in with comments, and I just think, oh, you're all legends. Like, you know, the majority, 98% of Leeds fans, I think, really get it. And that is not, like I'm saying, they're not in agreement with me. You don't have to be in agreement with me. That's not what an understanding of it is. It's just a reasonable, rational thought process. Even if you think Farke's not the man for the future, you know, you can think that without being like, fucking Farke out! What is he doing? A fucking failure at Norwich is and then it just goes into like this bonkers, like, mad breakdown, like crash out. Like, it don't make any sense. So, you know, I get accused to be a happy clapper, which I'll take. I don't care. But I'm not really. I just don't think we're in a bad place. If it starts to go tits up and we don't do enough, you know, by end of December, and by that I mean by end of December, if we're not in a really decent position, like, I want to be top by the end of December. I think we should be top by the end of December. But if we're not, I'll look at it. Do you know what I mean? And I'll reassess what I think. It'll probably be the same thing if we're 2 or 3 points in and around it. I don't always think in with the old, out with the bad is the right way to go about it. And I know I said that statement wrong, but I mean that. In with the old, out with the bad. It's like the same thing you had when, you know, that all rhymed. But, you know, get out with the old, in with the new. Like, oh, well, that's, you know, in with the old, out with the bad to me. It's just that it's the same thing. It's all like you don't know what it is. You don't know if it is the old. You don't know if it's the bad. It's a total guess. I honestly think, and I think majority of football is a guess. Like Ming says, they were called twats in my day, which I appreciate. Also blaming Daniel Farke for players missing chances like it's his fault. 100%. He's putting them in these positions to go and win games, and then they're not going and winning games. They're not going and scoring goals. We are robots. We've averaged 1 loss a month so far, which would mean 8 to 9 losses for the season. We lost 9 when we won under Bielsa. We'll be fine. Perfect. Leicester lost 11 games last year. I did in the video I did the other day. I can't remember. Hopefully I've still got it. Yeah, Sheffield United went up when they went up a couple of years ago. They lost 11 games. The year before that, Fulham lost 10 games. Bournemouth lost 8 games. The year we went up as champions, like my man just said there, we lost 9 games. So Leicester lost 11 last year. It's not that big a deal, guys. We're in a decent position. Do not fear. Daniel Farke is here. He's at the helm. Meslier must go, says Emmett, for no reason whatsoever. Just Meslier must go. There doesn't have to be any sort of nuance to it. It's just get rid of Meslier, silent S, and then we go up instantly. We become a significantly better side. Just get him out, and then, like I keep saying to everybody, but this has become like... it's become an I'm an idiot statement. We got Darlow in, and everybody, every time I say this, everybody goes, yeah, but Darlow ain't good enough. But we got Darlow in. Darlow came in. Darlow's from a Premier League football club. And then you go, yeah, but he's not good enough. Like, I know he's not good enough. Isn't that my point? New's not always better. Out with the old, in with the bad. It doesn't matter that Meslier moves on. It doesn't matter that you go, oh, well, get Darlow then. No, Darlow's shit. Like, yes, exactly. Maybe there's a chance that Meslier, silent S, is better than Darlow, because nobody denies that. Meslier must go, silent S, but we must sign somebody other than Darlow, even though Darlow was Meslier, silent S's replacement. They thought Meslier, silent S were going to leave. I know that for a fact because my mate bumped into Darlow, and Darlow said he thought he'd be playing a lot more games. He thought he'd be number 1, but he's willing to wait because he was stuck, basically. And he's stuck because he won't get in games where Newcastle, wherever he was. Darlow's a decent keeper, and we'd be all right with Darlow. But Darlow going forward, I don't mean on the football pitch, going forward into the Premier League and that, he's not enough, is he? Meslier, silent S, will make us some money in a couple of years. Sometimes you have to sacrifice what you believe to be. Everybody bangs on about finances all the time and gives it all big licks about who's in and amount of money we're spending or who's an actual asset to the club. Well, Meslier, silent S, is an asset to the club. So it actually benefits us in every single way because he's the best keeper at the club, full stop. So he doesn't need replacing. Will we go up with Meslier, silent S? Well, we did before, and we will again. And we'll go up with him. His stock will rise again, and he might get a decent move. If we do well next year in Premier League, he might get a decent move. We might move him on. And then you think, well, we made plenty of money out of him. We are robots. I do hope we get a new keeper in January. We won't get a new keeper in January. And a creative 10, what would you like in January, Jack? I don't know, man. I ain't bothered. I'm not on this. I don't think we're desperate for players in January. I think if somebody comes up, which is such an obvious thing to say, but if somebody comes up and you just think, it'd be very rare that we buy a player that walks straight into the side at this point. Even with the signings we've made in the summer, like Ramazani and stuff, who clearly looks brilliant. Ramazani came to the club not hoping that he'd start, but not knowing that he'd start. It's very difficult in January once the team is set up and everybody's sort of in their stall, in their position, like you sort of understand like the hierarchy of where everybody's at and like the tiers of it. and how Ramazani's made a legitimate case to play. So when he comes back from injury, it's like, whose position is it? You know, that's like healthy competition. But in terms of somebody like wandering in January, I don't know if it's any good. Unless he walks straight into the side, you're talking like March time until he gets an opportunity. Really, if you get, I mean, obviously with the number 10, to be fair, you know, we're not. There's not a breadth of depth in there, is there? So, you know, or with breadth of depth, I'm not sure what breadth even means, but you get my point. So, you know, you maybe will get an opportunity there, but then you'd have, like, you know, Ramazani. I think Ramazani can legitimately do it in the yes, JLUFC. Does that mean you've just signed up, or is that just random? I don't really know what that is. I think you've signed up. Cheers, JLUFC, if you have, dude. SST says, needing more players aren't the issue if there is one. Exactly, dude. Obviously, I'm sure this is what I mean about nuance. SST, please respond to my comment now. Would you take a player if they was good enough to come into the squad? Is that, of course, like that. Your statement doesn't mean we don't need any more players. It means It means needing more players isn't the issue. Do you know what I mean? It's like the two things can sort of mean the same thing. And I think SST would take a player if we got a massive, no, it doesn't have to be massive, but a really breadth is sad or lacking. Yeah, that'll do them. I thought, what were I trying to say with, like, you know, we're not very deep. There's not much depth there, but I can't remember. But anyway, you take a player in that you thought could come and do a job for you. If I'm honest, Ming, with that, I think. See, SST says yes, I'd take them, but it's not an emergency. Exactly. So the first statement was right. Needing more players isn't the issue. I wholeheartedly agree. Yes, I'd take them, but it's not an emergency. So the two things are, you can say one, you can lean more. I think, SST, I'm talking for you again, but you're leaning more towards it. Needing players aren't the issue. That's where I'm leaning towards. I don't think we need players. It's like I'm 70% towards not needing a player and 30% towards. But obviously, if a player becomes available, like, don't be asleep to it. Like Farke says, we will stay awake in the transfer market, and if somebody comes up, it must come out, must come in and on and over here. Obviously, he's going to take the best players he can at the club. Just to address my man Ming59 Santa Claus's question there, how many games would Tanaka have played without injuries? I aren't just saying this and it's easy in hindsight. I think Tanaka would have eventually got into the side. I think for instance, for Rothwell wouldn't have played hardly any games without injuries, but I think Tanaka would have. I think Farke's doing that thing that Bielsa did with Rafinha, where he doesn't want to upset the apple cart in the squad, and he wants it to be deemed that everybody's sort of getting equal opportunity. Not equal opportunity, because I disagree with equal opportunity, but equal opportunity, that is right, isn't it? It's equal outcomes that I don't agree with. Equal opportunity in the squad, and if you've done a good job, you keep your place, like, and you know, and then Tanaka, he'd bring Tanaka in a few times and go, yeah, but the thing is, Gruev, Tanaka's better. Do you know what I mean? It's not. So then that's when, and then Tanaka will play more and more and more. Well, we'll see, won't we, when Gruev gets back and when Ampadu gets back. But Ampadu won't take Tanaka's place. He'll take Rothwell's place. So, which is intriguing and interesting in a sense, because Tanaka's currently playing slightly more the holding role, and Rothwell's Rothwell's more progressive on ball in general than Tanaka, I'd say, or more creative, or more. Whether he's more creative or not is actually a bit of a diss, really, but to Tanaka, because that's sort of suggesting that he isn't creative. But I just mean that's Rothwell's game, whereas I feel like Tanaka's got both, really. It could do either or. And Tanaka's currently playing sort of like the role that Ampadu would play or Gruev would play in that too. But when Ampadu comes in, Tanaka will then go and do the Rothwell role. So it's quite a weird one. SST says, we have some great players. We've also had some freaky injuries. It's about minimising risk. Bosh. We are robots. I'm just talking about what I'd like us to sign. However, I would agree we probably won't sign anyone. Yeah, I would like a 10. That's somewhere where I would go, obviously. I think because Ramazani is a winger, Nonto's a winger, Solomon's a winger, Dan James is a winger. So, anybody, there's no competition for Aaronson in that sense. Joe made a decent point. So I was saying, because it got asked, well, who would you play if Aaronson won't fit? And then I was saying, well, probably Ramazani or Nonto really in the 10. Although I don't particularly like the idea of Nonto being in the 10, but it's weird when you're chatting to people because, I think he's quite aggressive, Nonto. So I think he does enough off the ball to sort of get about a bit. But Joe said he would play Peru, which he would do that. So that is where Farke would go. So there's something he's not keen on. The only thing I will say is after 70 minutes, I think he's going to start playing Ramazani in the 10 role during the games. I think he's going to do it a lot. I honestly do. Peacock Whites, what's your thoughts on Aaronson? I'll swig to that. I really like Aaronson. I think he's mint. Do I think that is true, SST? Well, I'll get to that, big lad. Do I think? What do I think of Aaronson? It's we were speaking about it yesterday. I think Aaronson's really good. He works really hard. He's not worried about being flashy. I think he's been compared to it got mentioned yesterday that we need to sort of change the system if we don't have that number 10. We don't need to change the system if we don't have that number 10. That number 10 that everybody's on about is like a Rutter number 10 who everybody actually had a go at last year for losing ball too much and stuff. Or like Peru who, struggled in the number 10. Number 10 and number 9 is the hardest position on the football pitch. The wingers, I've said this a million times and it's boring, but wingers get away with it, and this falls on dead ears, that's why I keep saying it. Wingers get away with it a bit. They can go for if Aaronson played out wide, it'd take about 7 games before anybody really started coming in on him. Really started having a go, like when was last time Aaronson scored or when was last time Aaronson assisted. It takes a while, and then once you catch up with them, then people start watching them, granted. But in the number 10 and the number 9, it's like 2 games, not scored, not assisted, not done much, and you're on. It's like you can't hide in them positions. So Aaronson's playing a really, really important role for us, obviously, in terms of position, I mean. And then he's getting, how well's he doing? Well, I think he's doing well. I think he's doing well enough. I think he works his nut. I don't want to talk about the stuff off the ball because I think it does him a disservice on the ball. I actually think he's quite tricky and he's a lot stronger this year and he doesn't lose the ball a lot. And he has set up plenty of chances and he is there before the assist and he does break with the ball. He looks confident and stuff. I mean, it got mentioned yesterday that he looks a bit like lacking confidence on ball and stuff. I'm just not in on that. I think he's like erratic movements. Right, players' mannerisms. This used to happen to Ozil a lot. Now, I know Ozil ended up making a bit of a dick of himself towards the end of his career and he was talking some right shit about all sorts of stuff, which I don't like when footballers, you just stick to football. But your mannerisms. So, for instance, Ronaldinho used to smile all the time, didn't he? I mean, Ronaldinho's one of the best ever to have ever done it. But Ronaldinho used to smile all the time. So then if you based every player on Ronaldinho, you'd be like, oh, you need to smile more. So, yeah, but I'm not a smiler. If you compared Ronaldinho to Keane, and I'm not on about in position because they're nowhere near each other, but Keane was an unbelievable general, wasn't he, in the centre mid, and Ronaldinho was an unbelievable forward. Well, Ronaldinho, you would think if on the basis of if you just take what they achieved out of it, a Roy Keane type would say to Ronaldinho, you need to be more serious about the game. And Ronaldinho would say to Keane, no, you need to be less serious about the game. You need to enjoy playing the game. Roy Keane says he never enjoyed playing loved winning and loved the game of football, but the actual game wasn't about enjoyment. It was purely about winning. Well, Ronaldinho felt the same way, just like flip reversed. He thought it was all about enjoyment, and enjoyment is winning. You know, if you're winning, then you're enjoying it, aren't you? So it's my point is you can't... your personality comes out in these things, and it's minor little things, but so your mannerisms. So if you look moody, or if you look radgy, or you can't take it away from that. Is what makes the player. It's not all of that combines into going like, you can't. My point is you can't just replicate Ronaldinho and say, oh, if you smiled more, enjoy it more. It's like, no, this isn't what I am. Like, I'm full, like 100%. I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's difficult. I feel like I've just spoke a bit of shit, but I do mean it. You can't make a player what he's not. It's not about following somebody else's. It's your personality comes out in everything like that. In any type of... That's what makes you a winner or makes you a loser in life in general. Like your personality, whether you think stuff's funny or you're always pissed off or it's whatever. Yeah, I'll move on. Aaronson is a bit slapdash, needs more composure, but it's a Duracell bunny. Yeah. Yeah. We've had enough on the bench to rest at least two of our fastest boyos. I would say, I said this other day, but, when was it? Saturday was an opportunity to bring somebody off a bit earlier on in the game. There was no need to... I actually think Farke, it's a deliberate thing where he wants to give these players like 70, 80 minutes. I think he thinks... whether it's right or not's another thing, but I think he thinks it's beneficial for the way that we play and like the side, and like if you start the game, you're not going to get, you've got time to influence the game, and I do think there's some nobility in that, because being in scenarios at a shit level, it's been like where you felt like I've actually, after about 60 minutes, I've got an opportunity to get into the game here, and then you get dragged off. It's like, no, I just Yaya Toure, and we don't have a player like Yaya Toure unless that Gullavoggy is like Yaya Toure, but last 20 minutes would be like, an old pundits used to go, oh, he just turns it on in the last 20 minutes. What's he doing for the rest of the game? Like, why does he keep doing that? And it's like, no, this is his part of the game. It's like the championship rounds of boxing, innit? It's like, this is where some players like turn up the heat and like get going. So I think, there's an element of that with Farke where he thinks, no, you get 70 minutes, you get 80 minutes. I don't fully agree with it, but I think that's his thought process. I don't buy into this thing where he's just stubborn and he just doesn't, he's like, no, this is what I've decided to do. I think he'll change his mind if it's the right thing to do. Yeah. If we could snag another Pablo style 10 from somewhere, that'd be mint. We can dream. Well, that's the point in it with our robots. If that guy's available, not Pablo now. I'm sure Pablo is available now, in fairness. But if you can bring that type of player in, that's the player that even SSTs with me. We're in. You go for that. Sakamoto, what's good, Sensei? On the face of it, Aaronson looks kind of stressed, but I suppose maybe that is just his disposition. That's kind of what I'm on about. That's his persona. That's him, innit? That's the way he seems. Do you know what I mean? That's the way he is. It's not. Can't change that. If you did, he won't be what he is, and we don't know what he is. We don't know what any of these boys are. You know, like the temperament of players is, you know, you have, if you're honest, and I mean this of myself, I mean this of everybody, you have an affinity towards certain players, just in general. Obviously, the best players in the world, like you're either a Messi or Ronaldo man or whatever, or you love R9, or you love Ibrahimovic, or you hate Ibrahimovic, or you like Rooney, or you like, you know, Inzaghi, or whatever. You just certain players. Everybody likes Maldini for some reason. I like Maldini. Everybody likes Buffon for some reason. You have like an affinity towards certain. Everybody loves watching Pirlo, don't they? It's the perfect version of the game. But is Pirlo better than Roy Keane? Probably not. I mean, for instance, this is actually a good example. So in the Vieira and Keane days, I hated Scum, and still do. So for that, I hated Keane. I actually don't mind Keane now. I think Keane's a good pundit, and I think he's funny. So I've come round to that, and actually, you know, that's what sport's about in the sense that, like, you watch these players over years and you think, but you do respect them. And when it's all said and done, and when it's all over, and when the history books have been written, you look back and go, well, I did enjoy that time. I did enjoy thinking that of Roy Keane and hating what he did to Hal and all this stuff and despising the guy. But I thought I preferred Vieira. Well, no, I didn't think that. I preferred Vieira, and I would do my best to argue that Vieira were better. And my brother said to me once, just on a random day, he said, Keane got, and I was being, you know, we weren't even really talking about it, and he just said, yeah, but Keane got the better of him more than Vieira got the better of Keane. And my whole perception changed of the rivalry. That's true. So in my head, you know, you see these moments like, oh, Vieira's done him and it's mint, but you're on about like one-off occasions where Vieira has got the better of Keane. The reality is Keane did Vieira all the time. Very rarely did Vieira do Keane, but you just remember them moments. So it's like because I prefer Vieira, like I'm pretty sure most Leeds fans would prefer Vieira over Keane in the heat of the moment. But now when I look back, although I still love Vieira, I still loved him as a player more. He was better on the eye than Keane. Seemed like a better player than Keane, but I don't think he was a better player than Keane. So, but yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, Man U and Arsenal. But again, you get my point. You get me. Aaronson, quick feet, quick brain. He's young and getting better. Plays better when others do. 100%, man. He will also get better, Will Aaronson. We will see where, you know, long term in the Premier League, it's probably not going to be the one, is he? But he's the type of player that, you know, what doesn't affect the performance of the game when we are playing well, and doesn't make a mockery of us when we're not playing well. He's solid, isn't he? Or soiled, should I say? But we don't have my guy in. We don't have my soiled guy in. Well, Fest at the 4 says you are so right. Thank you very much, sir. When the going gets tough, the stuff gets going. I want to read a few comments out from the. I want to do ones that I've not responded to. I try and respond to everybody, but 100% Peacock, yeah, man. I need to sort it out so that it's because I do it on OBS at minute, because I don't want to pay for fucking whatever that thing's called. I'm gonna put this on, which I shouldn't do, but it's the first one that I've seen. So this is an example of a total legend, because sometimes this is what I mean. You get bogged down with like the negative comments, and then oh well, let me send it. Mint. Apologies, I take that back. It won't. I won't. Why is that then? Oh, you can only send a certain amount by the looks of it. Yeah, I can only send that certain amount, so I just wanted to put it on the screen before I read it out. So Fishy Tog 1 said, I don't post on here often. This is not why I picked this. It's just this is my point about the legendary status of Leeds fans. So I don't post on here often, but you're absolutely spot on. I must stress as well, it's not because it's positive towards me. I think this is just a general summary of what's occurring at the club. Saying Farke out is as bad as saying Pep out for City. We are not going to win every game, that's a fact. So some so-called fans just don't see the bigger picture. The players need to give their heads a wobble. As a team, Leeds do have players that can go AWOL. What gets up fans' noses is players all seem to go AWOL together. We need more of a leader on the pitch to start shouting at the players to motivate when it starts going tits up. I like Pascal as a captain, but he needs to be more vocal. Great video and well put across. So this is my point. So we've got my man Fishy Tog here that doesn't often... did you put I don't often comment? So there's plenty of people... Nobody... funnily enough, and I am going off on a tangent here, but funnily enough, I don't comment on anybody's videos. Like, I watch... all I do is watch YouTube. I don't watch anything else. I don't comment on anybody's videos, ever. So it's you can get bogged down within like the shit that some people post on here, thinking that that's the view of everybody, and it isn't. Chris Wint says it was a bad day, mate. Nothing more. We dust ourselves down and go again. Bosh. And then so my guy here. So Johnny Garner. He gets the legendary status for being funny. So Farke out, Tony Pulis in with Bamford as assistant manager. Only joking. Farke has got this in the long run, I feel. We ain't having South Yorkshire outshining us this season. My man Johnny Garner. Again, Johnny Garner. Andrew Henston. Well said, my friend. Michael Evans. Constantly passing slowly from side to side. Won't break any kind of lot. Let's have a look at this one. This is a good one. Constantly passing slowly from side to side won't break any kind of block down, but will do wonders for possession stats. We really are not all that, and heaven help us if we go up and keep Farke. So let me digest that. The slowly sideways passing. You are not right. Farke plays cagey, front foot, forward thinking football. It's not mind blowing like Bielsa. It's not all, it's not all out going forward, and it's very much he wants to control games, wants to control possession. You have to give something. If you want to play possession based football, you have to give. You sort of have to accept that there's going to be boring moments of games. Now, what we should be doing is having more. I don't actually know if we should be creating more chances and stuff. Actually, I think obviously in games like Saturday we need to do more. We need to create more. But Barcelona, when they were in the absolute pomp, used to have a 80% of possession, and then every now and again they get beat 1-0. But the alternative is you have 50% possession and you get beat 1-0. You have 50% possession and you win plenty of games. Well, we're having 80, 70%, 65, 70% possession, and we're winning most games, aren't we? So it's not the possession's not the problem. The going side to side kind of comes into the possession. You can't have that level of possession if at times it isn't a little bit drab and a little bit boring. Yeah, you have every plus has to have a negative. If you're controlling games and you're pushing forward and you play a high line, then you're susceptible on the break, aren't you? You can get beat on the counter. You can get done over. That's how we got beat at Burnley. Burnley didn't deserve to win that game, but unfortunately, Solomon slipped over and they went down the other end and scored a goal. They didn't do all else other than that. You have to. You cannot just. You can't dominate games like that and not have a weakness. That's the essence of sport in general. You know, Federer's main weakness was his backhand. He improved his backhand. It made him significantly better, but his backhand still wasn't as good as his forehand. So, you know, that's his weakness. Federer didn't have a weakness. Federer was amazing, but you've got more chance of beating him if you put it on his backhand than you do on his forehand. There's no... Well, name a version of football you've ever watched in your whole life where you've thought this team is impossible to beat. And they might look impossible to beat, but there is a way, there's a method of beating them. And people can go different ways about it, exposing certain weaknesses we've got. Every team has weaknesses. You cannot... The yin and yang, isn't it? If they want the case, everybody play the same way. Teams are turning up knowing that they're inferior to Leeds United in a football sense and knowing that we're going to control most of the game. I disagree with this low block thing. In general, I think it's a lot of bollocks. I don't think the low block's a lot of bollocks. I think the low block is obviously a legitimate method of playing against us. But this idea that we just can't break a low block down is bollocks to me, because we break it down all the time. What ends up getting said is, when we get beat, we couldn't break the low block down. The low block's the problem. The low block's not the problem. The lack of goal is the problem. The lack of us taking his chances is the problem. It's not the low block. We have 70% of possession. How are they not going to end up sitting in a low block? This low block thing, it actually does my head in. Man City struggle against the low block. Everybody struggles against the low block. Because that by definition means you're the team looking to win the game. And as I say, if you get done on counter, these are all as shit as some of these sides are in Championship. I mean, some sides in Premier League are shit in comparison to Man City, and Man City are shit at the minute, but in comparison to the best teams in the league, some teams are shit, but they can still do them over. I mean, nobody'd argue that Liverpool aren't in mint form. Got done over by Forest earlier on in season. So, I mean, Forest, I don't know where they are in league now, but, you know, they're decent. Oh, Ming, that's it again. My man Ming making it rain, boy. Cheers, Ming. You're a legend. St. Helens LUFC says, Aaronson reminds me of that 2p horse race at the fair. It gets off to a flyer, then pulls up on the finish. Fair dues. Tickled me. A Starks says, Farke is a great appointment. He knows what he's doing. He's not trying to burn the players out before February. SST says, if Farke goes left and loses everybody, says he should have gone right and any fool could see it. Yeah. That's kind of my point with the low block. It's like, oh, it's the low, it's too low resolution, that. It's too simple. Oh, it's a low block. Like, yeah, by that you mean we've dominated the game and we struggled to break the low block down. We struggled to break the team down because they hung in and they did really well against us. That's what that means. If it were like, oh, because what would be the excuse? Do you know what I mean? If we wasn't having 70% possession, what would be it'd just be like, oh, the game were mental. We got outclassed. We got beat 2-0. Like, all right. Do you know what I mean? But if we can go, it's a low block, then I sound really intelligent, don't I? Because I'm talking about a low block. Everybody knows what a low block is. honestly, it's nonsense. I honestly, I think some people have really, really got tremendous knowledge of football, and then I think some people have got decent. You're either obsessed with it and you're really on everything with it. I don't know. Cause I feel like I'm dissing just players that watch football. People that watch football. I just watch football. Do you know what I mean? The basis of my knowledge comes from playing football and watching football. I don't know jack shit about football, do I? If any of us lot sat down and had a conversation, yes, Wellfest at the 4, that's where I'm at. Yeah, that's mint point SST. I'll get to that. Yeah, I just want to quickly say about knowing nothing about football. If any of us lot sat down round a table and had a chat with Daniel Farke about football, he would blow your brains out. You'd be literally like, the level of intellect this man would have for the game of football will be absolutely bonkers. And I think everybody that watches the channel has a proper decent knowledge of football. Everybody's played at a certain level, or regardless what level you've played at, you've got a good understanding of football. You've played plenty of it, or your eyes don't lie to you, do they? Whereas, if somebody opened your mind up to something, you'd be like, I can't argue with that. Whereas talking about that, if you said to Daniel Farke, we can't break the low block down, can you? He'd laugh. I actually think he'd be like, I don't know what a German laugh is, but he'd have his big sausage when he'd go like, oh. He'd be like, I can't break the low block down. Is that honestly what you're bringing to the table? You're saying I can't break the low block down, you tit. SST, the time wasting and spoiling does me though, Jack. Not the mystical low block. The time wasting is horrendous. But it's the nature of the beast, isn't it? That time wasting awfulness. It's the nature of the beast. And I think, do you know what does my head in about the time wasting, right? So when it's 0-0 or whatever, I feel like we can saunter about a little bit. I'm not on about on the ball, because then we go back into this moving slowly and can't break the low block down. But like, I'm not calling Bogle out, it's just Bogle stays back from when we have an attacking corner. He stays back a lot. There's times when the ball gets like pumped out, they've cleared the ball, and Bogle's like, as I say, it's not against Bogle this, but it's sort of like, there's like a 40% jog over to it, like I'll just get over to the ball, like pick it up, and then I turn and like look up, oh, nobody really about, everybody's sort of trotting back, and then I go to Meslier, silent S, and then he takes a couple of touches, does his little thing where you don't know which way he's going. That shit does my head in, because that's something we can do something about. Their time wasting we can't do it about, other than like try to keep the ball on the pitch and try and not give away silly fouls, not give them an excuse to time waste. But when we're sort of like sauntering about, like sometimes I think just go take the corner, go get the ball and go and take the corner though, get on with it. Let's go, let's take it. I don't mean don't rush the corner, but get the ball now, fucking get over to it. But it's like, oh, I'll walk and then sort of like, kick outside at foot, just flicking ball over to the corner flag. Go and take the corner, big lad. Go and get the ball. Don't wait for the left winger to put you under a little bit of pressure. Go and get it, and then let's go, let's play. That's the type of intensity that sort of holds it up. We sort of, my point is we sort of, it's easier to just saunter over to the ball and then turn out and go, oh, there's not really much on. Whereas if he went and got over to the ball, in 6-a-side, for instance, like they'll all be absolutely sensational, that you've got to go get the ball, go get that ball as quickly as physically possible. You cannot be messing around. It's like every little inch of space counts. So it's like if they're fucking around and I go get this ball, I get an extra 5 seconds on ball. I've got plenty of time now on ball. And it's the same thing in 11-a-side football at this level. These boys are absolute beasts. Go and get on the ball. Go get to it quickly. Let's move. So that would be my argument about counteracting the time wasting. Also on the time wasting, they do time waste, but so do we. Everybody does it a bit. Granted, these teams do it significantly more, and it's an absolute nightmare to watch. But it's same as blaming refs. St. Ellen says, I have the answer to the low block. Put both centre halves up front and play long balls. Well, I'd be inclined to agree with you, St. Helens, but neither of them can win an header. So Struggling can win an header, to be fair, just can't direct it. And Rodon can't win an header, so. A lot of these people know football from the Times and wouldn't know a great ball if Sky didn't tell them. 100% Ming. I think you've said that before, mate, and it's well put. Peacock Whites. My knowledge of football is playing it, watching and researching. If Farke sat in front of me and started talking, my head would blow up. Exactly, dude. Do you know what I mean? 100%. And if you view, if that is your view, then you're in the right. For me, you're in the right place. That you have to know. I think in everything you don't have to know your place, because you should be able to say whatever you want, say whatever you think, but it should be what you think, not what. Which I'm not. This is not in response to you, Peacock. I just make sure you do say what you think, but say what you think, and then let somebody disagree with it or whatever, and let's work towards making my brain better. Every single conversation you have should be in order to try and make you more clever, have a better understanding of something. You know, if you talk to drongos, you will be a drongo. If you talk to a lot of intelligent people, you will be more intelligent. But don't step away from what you think just on that basis. But when you sit down with somebody like Daniel Farke, you listen to him and you listen to every single word he says, and then you go home and you lie in bed and you're looking up at roof and you think, right, what do I think of that? Let me digest that. Let me take this on board. He has a better knowledge than me. I still think the same way I think. I still got my opinion on things. But the bloke is... Lockie, for instance, was speaking to Lockie last night after the live. And Lockie's... I love his videos. He's mint. And I watch his videos and they're insightful. And I could ask Lockie some. Lockie's got a better. Lockie watches a lot more football than me. Has a significantly better understanding of football, but it doesn't change my view of football. I don't. That doesn't make, in my eyes, everything Lockie says correct. I actually agree majority of the time with Lockie by accident. It's just a matter of fact. But it's not. Joe's the same. Like, I disagree with Joe very little about things, but I would say if I did, it's not I hope neither of them would think. I don't know. We're not engaging in an argument. It's like let's hash this out, and I'll think about it afterwards. Like, let's work it out. Let's see what idea rises to the top. It's not, basically, my point is, it's not just what everybody's saying. If everybody's saying it, it don't make it right. It's that creates a what is it, an echo chamber or whatever, where everybody's just saying the same thing, and then if I say it, that makes me intelligent. It's like the low block, we can't break the low block down. I don't believe that. I think that's a load of bullshit. We've lost 3 games this season. The Burnley one wasn't due to not being able to break the low block down. I don't think we particularly performed, and it was a mistake from Solomon. He slipped. The Blackburn game, we had chances. People were saying that wasn't the low block; it was a mid block. Well, it's the same thing. We didn't impose his game on them enough to push them back into a low block, so they played a mid block, which basically just means 8 men behind the ball, just wherever we are in the pitch. Is so the mid block is the same as the low block. It's just the low block is clearly further back, and so if we'd have been better on the ball on Saturday, we'd have pushed them into a low block, and then everybody gone, it's the low block that's the problem. Blackburn scored a penalty and beat us 1-0. Millwall, much the same. You're just a shit game. Horrible, didn't turn up. The main thing about Leeds United for the past since Bielsa, if we lose a game of football, I know why we've lost that game of football. There's no better than knowing why you lost. You lost because we didn't impose our game. The Bielsa's whole thing was you impose your game on the other team and you win the game of football. And anybody that says that every team does that is wrong. Blackburn turned up at the weekend not trying to impose Blackburn's game and has tried to stop us playing our game effectively. Did that effectively, then win. They won the game due to them us not turning up particularly. To be fair, I think the Millwall game is probably a better example of that, where we didn't turn up, or where we turned up, a bit. I don't think we turned up at all against Blackburn. I thought we were shit, and but it was our fault. That's why we didn't win that game. But that I think that's a good position to be in. This idea that you play well when you're getting beat is just horrendous. Surely you want to get beat when you play poorly, not when you play well. You want to win when you play well. I also understand the idea that it's. I still don't think we played particularly. No, it were horrendous actually on Saturday. Yeah, it was horrendous. Cheers, Wellfest at the 4 Halls. Appreciate you, brother. Is that the high block? I'm terrified of the high block. We play the high block, don't we? Yeah, we play the high block against the low block. The thing is about the low block can break down the high block, but the high block can't break down the low block. 20 years ago, they had George Graham on Sky as a pundit. He dismantled the game bit by bit. Genius, yeah. George Graham set us up very well, didn't he? Boring football though, but that were a different time as well with it. I think fans have got greedy about stuff. I think in George Graham's day, teams were really happy to be winning loads of games, weren't they? And George Graham were into that. George Graham was tremendous. Ming59, don't know your place, but listen, you might learn something. 100%. Couldn't have said it better, Ming. You don't have to. You're not riding bitch, but you do need to listen. Don't be ignorant. Don't be rude. Love it, Wellfest. We do have it. Farke will get us out of this league. He will get us out of this league. Get us out of this league. This weave. Everyone's an expert. Thing is, they really believe it. Yeah, that is also a furthering on from don't know your place, but listen. The worst thing is when it's like I say what I think, everybody on here says what they think, but when you think you're right, you're done for. I think it's like. You're not right. You're not right just because you think it. You know what I mean? Just because I believe everything I say, everything I think is right. But if you're in full belief of everything you think and say, that can't go well. That can't go anywhere good. JLUFC, I don't even want to hear it, big man. Do you know? Rads has been getting this on Twitter. I don't know if anybody saw this. And this will go down like a lead balloon, but I don't care because nobody will be an hour and 10 minutes into my live tomorrow anyway, so just you guys can hear this. Hear this. Fear this. Never gonna hear this. I don't blame Rads for panicking and sacking Bielsa. Rad's got so much stick on Twitter the other day saying, because he's come out and spoke about it, and he followed dickheads like Connor and stuff who he'd allowed to follow him on Instagram and stuff, and he was messaging him saying, I can't believe you've done this to the club and stuff. Like, how rude. For anybody to think that Rads didn't have... If we wanted to stay up as a fan... Can you imagine having like £50 million riding on that? I'm zinging like a tower burger if on a weekend I've put a fiver on a bet with my mate and I'm on about doubling my money. Can you imagine what that decision that was riding on that for him? I think he got it wrong. I think he got it badly wrong. But I can't blame Rads for that. I have no idea what would be going through my brain if 100 million were riding on it. Let's just be fair about fairness. Let's be fair to be fair. When there's 100, I don't even know how much. I would imagine about 100 million pound riding on it. You're talking about a sale of a club either in the Championship or in the Premier League. Significantly different. He will have been shitting shells, frying pans, everything coming out of his end. I don't blame Rads for making a poor decision. I think he was pretty good. I think he was excellent for the club. I think he got it wrong. I think there was more to it than that. I think the players let him down. Do you know, I actually lay a lot of the blame in general at players, I think. Because I think ultimately it's the players' responsibility to go out and do the job. You can't tell me after, 3 years with Bielsa, that run of results were Bielsa's fault. And this idea that he got found out is bullshit to me. I don't buy into that at all. I don't think that, again, I think if you impose your game, I think he could have got some more investment. I actually think another bad decision from Rads, again, nuance. I'm not saying everything Rads did was correct. I just think the majority of the things he did was, he got us to that position. Do you remember how we was run before? You know, I think Rads gambled on Bielsa, i.e. thought he would take us to didn't think we needed some serious investment on the basis that Bielsa would be enough. And that was also the thinking in the Championship when he nearly got us up the first year. They paid Bielsa big wages on the bit and changed the club for him and followed a lot of his demands, a lot of his requests in order to get him to the club. They did all that because they gambled on the money went in on Bielsa. Not, you know, so the money, the investment was Bielsa. And if he, you know, I would counteract that with this idea that Bielsa didn't want new players, because that sort of got hovered round as though like Bielsa don't want new players, which is just the biggest load of bullshit you've ever heard in your whole life. Like a manager wouldn't want better players. It's just so silly. Like, oh, you know, well, apparently Bielsa just wanted a squad of 18 or a squad of 20 or whatever that was. Like, yeah, a squad of 20 of the best players he can possibly find. not 20 people that he knows. It's not like, oh yeah, get him in. And he brought Rafinha in, didn't he? He started dropping players for. If you were better, you got dropped. He liked Costa, didn't he, in the Championship? He played Costa for the first year, and then when he'd had enough. He never played again. I don't know. Craig Havis, what's good, lad? I don't buy into the bullshit, our kid either. Good lad. Crack another can open. An hour and 15 minutes with the boys. Boys and Bob. Bob's not here though, is he? JLUFC says, my point is we've never had a consistent boss, i.e. Scum had Fergie. Took years to build success. Yeah, unfortunately, big man, I think them days are done, aren't they? I mean, I think, you know, I would, you know, I don't want to talk about Bielsa forever. Well, I will talk about Bielsa forever. Talk about Bielsa for as long as I want, but as long as anybody wants. I don't think. I think we could have had Bielsa for 8 years, and I don't think it'd have done us over. I think we'd have stayed up with him anyway. I think that'd have been a moment to have some serious investment. This idea that he wouldn't have changed a little bit. He apparently said to Water the year that we didn't go up the first year. He apparently said to Water in the summer, I'm happy to stay because I know what went wrong. Well, if he knew what went wrong, does that not suggest that he's changed something? He knows what went wrong. What do you mean what went wrong? Nothing went wrong if you're unwilling to change. I know that the two things are counterproductive because we didn't go up, so something's clearly gone wrong. But the idea that the manager never ever changes anything ever, and it's just like this is the way it is. It's like to say you know what went wrong means I know what I have to do next year for us to go up. I know what didn't quite work for us. Now I know that's not a plan B what everybody wants to watch, but I also the plan B that me and you are talking about is stick a big bloke up top and lump it forward and let him try and win a few headers and get a few knockdowns for some Robbie Keane character to get on the end of. Peter Crouch and Robbie Keane style, bring them to one. That's the plan B we're on about. I think there's plenty of plan Bs. I also want to address this idea that the substitutions and stuff that Farke makes, like how often does it work? How often does it have to work? We don't lose a lot of games. So how often does it have to work? We're asking over so this season in 18 games, we've asked for three sets of substitutions to work. I mean, we came back from being behind against Swansea, so I can't remember what the subs were made in there, but the point the point I'm making is you're 1-0 down and we get beat 1-0. That's the only when the subs didn't work. Farke's not done. The summit is not done. Is that what happened in that Swansea game? Like genuinely, I mean that Swansea game's a fucking absolute mess to me. But he made some changes in that. And he might have waited forever. Don't all wade in on me about him not waiting. I'm sure he waited until God were a lad to find out when he did stuff, but. So we scored, obviously, 73 minutes. So, let me have a cookbook look here. Oh, there's no fucking... lineups. Nonto scored. Case closed. Nonto scored. Nonto came off at bench and scored. Well, who brought Nonto off at bench? It sounds like I'm being pedantic, but surely that's an example of, I know that don't work because, you go, well, yeah, of course Nonto comes off at bench. Like, well, yeah, isn't that Farke utilising his squad? Nonto comes off at bench and scores. We were behind, or we'd actually gone in front, and then they equalised. Then we go on and win. Well, that's Farke's substitutes in it. So I win. What we got here? Yeah, it was St Helens. I don't ever put a fiver on. No. I would never bet on Leeds, that's one thing for sure. Not for fear of losing my money, but it's like when I'm watching boxing, I won't bet on the fighter that I want to win. I mean, I'd bet on him winning outright. I mean, I'm not a betting man, truth be told, but I'd bet on him winning outright, but I don't like the idea of 7th round knockdown or 9th round knockout, because I know what my brain's like, and I'd get to the 4th round and he'd be doing really well, and then I'd be like, just hang back here, let's I've got some money on this, let's get to 9th round and then knock him out, and then he gets banged out in 8th round, and then I lose my bet and the fighter that I want to win don't win. So I don't bet on things that I just want the win on. It's I won't bet on Leeds winning. I mean, obviously a bit easier in football, if you bet 3-0 and you win 2-0, it don't matter, does it? But I mean, it does a bit, because if it's 2-1 and you've got a scorer on it, or first goal scorer, you are thinking, well, I'd rather it were Aaronson or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't. I stay out of that. If I'm putting a bet on it, it'd just be some bullshit ones, really. Or casino betting. Obviously, don't mind having a bit of a laugh in casino, but here's an interesting one from Ming here. Fergie got lucky and had a shed full of cash. He sold his soul to the devil. When he left, the devil took it back. Thank God. Scum had sensational amounts of money. This idea, I mean, they still do. They're spending money like there's no tomorrow. It's just not winning out anymore. But Scum literally, just went through years and years of like literally signing like the best players in the Premier League, or Van Nistelrooy, Van Persie. I mean, they bought Veron when he was best player in the world. Didn't do particularly well at Man U, to be fair, didn't Veron, but they had a habit of doing that. They had the most money ever. They spent shitloads. They bought the league every single year. And then like Man City pop up and spend shitloads of money, and everybody goes, oh Man U, they just fucking bought it. Like, well, where did you lot come from? You bought it. Granted, they got super lucky in a certain era of football where you could bring loads of English lads through who were all really good footballers, really good servants to the club and that, but that'd never happen again. That. It's a lot of shit, is that. You think the Mourinho days, you think he could have waited for these young lads? It were a different world, different landscape, as them goons on TalkSport say. They're always on about landscape, aren't they? Like, the current landscape. Like, stop saying landscape. You haven't seen a landscaper in your whole fucking life, mate. It works every time we win. Yes. Did you actually, Ming? What did you think? What did you think to that? Did anybody see that with Sonny Edwards? I posted that on my Twitter. I were at work. I didn't watch the fight. I watched it back online, but Sonny Edwards is one of them ones. I don't want to talk about boxing because I might alienate a few people here, but Sonny Edwards is one of them ones that I didn't like initially, and then I end up really liking people that just sort of like, you just know that they're actually being honest about everything. And I don't think Sonny Edwards is, I don't have a clue, but I don't think he's, I don't want to say troubled, but I think I've seen a few little things of him and I just think he's done tremendously well in his career, but I think he's, I actually think the fight he's had on would be, it's even better. He's excelled himself. I think some people, so like the dedication that like Mayweather has to boxing and stuff, just forever, he just had it just in just droves of it, or troves, whatever the word would be, shitloads, a shit ton of it. That's also like not a natural thing, so I think that's disrespectful to Mayweather's work ethic. My point is that I just think Sonny Edwards is probably, he peaked, massively peaked. I think it was super hard for him to get there, and he did it. And then he didn't. I don't know. I think he's a bit fucked in head. Is kind of my point. I mean, that statement he makes in corner is, it's terrible. Honestly, I think it's horrible to watch, and the fact that Matchroom shared it, I think it's terrible, because I think that's, I think it's terrible. Try to find it here, but like anything, when I'm trying to find something live, if I'm not trying to find it live, it's instant. It pops up like, See, if I wasn't trying to find it, have you seen that? Like, when like there's somebody watching you and you're on computer, and then suddenly you can't type, you can't do anything, and you literally don't know how the computer works anymore. Well, that's how I get with lives. I think, oh, I'll show this right quick, and then I can't find it. It's crazy. I just want a 10-second clip of him having a meltdown. I can't find it. Shame on me. I'm not giving up though, not yet, even if I lose all my viewers. I've got it. Right. Now we move to strike here, so this could all go wrong here, but
Right now, stop feeling fucking sorry for yourself because you've had one bad fucking round. Bite down on your fucking gum shield and sort your fucking head out when you get against the ropes. Close to him, lad. Standing too close. Have you got it in your legs to keep moving?
Man, no, I'm gonna be broken. I don't want to be.
Don't be fucking stupid, lad. Don't stop fucking. Listen, stop fucking feeling sorry for yourself right now. Stop feeling fucking sorry for yourself because you've had one bad fucking round. Bite down on your fucking gum shield and sort your fucking head out when you get against the ropes. Close to him, lad. Standing too close. Have you got it in your legs to keep moving?
Man, no, I'm gonna be broken. I don't want to be.
Don't be fucking stupid, lad. Don't stop fucking. Listen, stop fucking.
And you know, I want to add. I will go back to Leeds in a minute, boys and Bob. But I want to add something to that right quick, because everybody was saying that to pull him out, the corner should have pulled him out. Now that's kind of what I'm on about, him being a bit mashed up in head. He is sulking there a little bit, and I don't mean that in a bad way, like Mings just said about him. The fire's been lost. I think that there's been like a train of thought being said. I think his trainer, he just says, don't feel fucking sorry for him. He's giving him like the hard word. I think if he thought he were like not having it, or like there was concern involved, he pulls him out. He would pull him out. He'd pull him out of the fight. But I don't know how much he even means what he's saying. He's just had enough. It's like it's like being on a night out. Like, I ain't having that shot. I'm not having that shot. I do not want that shot. It's like, come on, have the shot. Just have the shot. Stop being a put like, and then you're having a laugh. Do you know what I mean? Or like, you just want somebody to be like, he wanted that. Sonny Edwards wanted that interaction as well. He wanted to tell him that that's why he's not performing to his highest level, because there's so many things going on. I don't know. I'll talk about Leeds again. But I find boxing a tremendous insight into... I mean, you don't get closer to the battle of life, does it, than boxing? It's like, boxing is... What a sport that is. Like, geez, what these blokes go through, and the women. But what these blokes go through is bonkers. The level of self-doubt and stuff. If you think you've got self-doubt, I think I've got self-doubt. Can you imagine being in corner, losing, and being like, right, yeah, stand up and go have another 3 more minutes of that? That level is... It's harrowing what they go through. They're absolute G's. They're absolute West Coast warlords. Love it. Cheers, dude. Take it easy, man. I would say so, Hank, but I don't think he's going to play him. So I think he's purely a backup. Yeah, he's a backup. Do you reckon, Ming? I'd be bang up for it. I'm trying to get... Because, like, a lot of time my brother will come around and watch footy and that, and we'll watch boxing together all the time and that, but... I'm trying to convince him to jump on a live with me, because, you know, the more interactive we can be with you guys, it'd be ace, really. But yeah, I'll be well up for doing boxing. I don't want to alienate anybody on the channel. I feel like when I start talking about all other than football, it's like, or all other than Leeds, it's like, you know, what you chat. Why we're talking about fucking darts. I've got 2 computers, Peacock, but I don't... This is all on one at the minute. I've just got a second screen. But I do have another one, but I've not... That's just my old one, basically. Cheers, Ming. You're a ledge. I hadn't seen the comment from A Stalks with the handbrake. Where's that? I don't get all the comments, you know. YouTube is absolutely whack. I shouldn't say that because they monitor your every word, you know, and it's don't do me any good. But I would just wish they'd show the comments. It's abusive and all. I don't. What's TBI? Yes, Sakamoto Sensei. Well, I'll have a think about it. To be fair, they're normally like early morning as well, so I'll just jump on. If nobody's up, nobody's up. And if you don't like it, to be fair, I don't even know why I'm thinking that much about it. If you don't like it, then fucking don't watch it, damn it. I don't give a shit. But yeah. We're building. What we're building towards, we've no idea, have we? But we're building. What are we building towards, guys? What's the plan here? Has there ever been a plan? I feel like the day we make a plan for this. Yes, Jay, legend. Yes, Vega. See, Vega's just come through there. Wait, comment is fucking wacky, YouTube. Yeah, the day we make a plan for this channel is the day that well, it's the day I don't do it. The day there's a plan. I'm concerned now that I'm going to make a plan long term. I feel like this underlap is a plan. I feel like as soon as I named something, named a live, if I actually called something, the underlap. I thought, I was like, oh, fucking hell, like, you know, what is that about? Yes, Jay. Tell her, make it absolutely apparent that there's no bloke like you, mate. No bloke like you. Tell her that you're the West Coast warlord, mate. Drive it home in every single sense, and I'm certain you do. Keep that satisfaction up. You're a legend, brother. Yes, Ming. I will. Only issue I have is I'm at work. I'm watching it on phone half at time, but I would do it for Fury fight on 21st, but I'll be annihilated. Well, I'm seeing you out of Ming. Bob needs not know. Bob knows everything though. Bob sees everything. I can't fucking scroll. I've got head's gone a bit here. Since I've had a beer, I turn into a fucking Neanderthal on this computer. Like whacking it. Fucking angry my god, fucking only fucking trackpad. Does this trackpad fucking not work or something? Fuck is this trackpad all about? Oh. Trackpad's betraying me here. Yes. Love it, Bertland. Always coming in with the absolute legendary. My man's just sharted. Bit too heavy to ignore. So he's back in 5 minutes. He's had them spicy pumpkin fritters. Probably, I think, without argument, the best comment we've had all night, in it, that one. What more do you want? We're starring that super chat again though, Ming. I think it's only right. What else have we got in Stratosphere here? What can we talk about here? Statistically, this tickled me the other day. Statistically, that was our worst performance against Blackburn at the weekend. I don't know if anybody noticed, but we lost 1-0 and unanimously. everybody thought we were shit. So I personally think that did anybody think statistically we was going to be good at the weekend? It's like, what? So we all watched the game, and then the headline news is statistically we were shit on Saturday. Like, what do you mean statistically? My eyes nearly burnt out the back of my head we were that bad. And you think saying statistically that was the worst performance of the season is like I'm flabbergasted. Like, I do not need the stats on Saturday. It was shit to watch. Statistically, we was the worst team in the league on Saturday. Like, I mean, we won't have been the worst team in the league on Saturday, but statistically, that was the worst performance of our season. Like, you mean statistically as opposed to like the 18, 17, you mean the 15 games that we've won, or 15 games that we've played well in? 10 games that we've won. What a load of nonsense. Happy birthday. Yes, gloves are off, sweet science. Cheers, dude. Appreciate you, brother. Long-term member is my man, gloves off, sweet science. Good lad. Vega dropping the flaccid line. Don't know if he's on about me. Bertland's back with the from his spicy fritters or whatever it was. False alarm. It's all good. Happy birthday, Jack. Cheers, dude. Thank you very much, mate. It's not quite my birthday, but I'll take the early. I have sort of put it in the description that it is my birthday, so I just thought it'd drag a few of you in, which I don't know if it has or not. The viewmanship. I'm busting for a piss though, boys. I'm gagging. I'm going to have to go for a piss. But, so we've currently got, it never tells me in real time. So we're currently somewhere between 17 and 21 current viewers. So like, it's just gone up to 19 on here. It's 20 on there. So do you know what I mean? It goes 17, 21 all over shop all time. So my question to you guys is, what does it say at your end? And I'm actually being serious. What does it say? Because whatever it says your end, we're going to put a test to it. Just go in the empty can. Do you know, and this is not me, I'm not gloating, because I'm not much bigger, but I couldn't get it in that. My worry is I'd probably get it in, but it'd fill up too quick. Because does it genuinely say 26 over your end there, Stock? It's what I mean. I'm being lied to. I want to know, because I want to know. I'm going to run for a piss, and I want to see how many people remain when I get back. So I think I'm going to lose everybody. But I'm going to have to go for a piss in a minute, and then we will talk more Leeds United. Yes, Eddie. Yes, EK17, or I can't remember. Son of Eddie, also known as Mark. Yes, Mark Edison. What's good, brother? It's not quite my birthday yet. It's my birthday tomorrow. See, so maybe we're all in the same boat here. Vega says, our performance was flaccid, as in limp, impotent. Not a coincidence, Tanaka's worst game. We look disjointed. We come to rely on his dominance in midfield. Tanaka was limp. That was his worst. It was his worst performance, and fully agree. No coincidence that Tanaka's worst performance. Nobody. When you've got like really consistent players like Tanaka and stuff, and you know, consistent players, you need when they're not bang at it. When they're not bang at it, cheers, dude. It's not quite my birthday. I need to change title, don't I? It's my birthday in an hour. When your consistent players aren't bang at it, you need everybody to turn up, don't you? You need somebody else to take the mantle. And I would say, to be fair, that is a problem with leadership, because you need, if Tanaka's not bang at it, somebody needs to pull it out of bag, don't they, and sort it out. Yeah. What can I put on? Hang on a minute. This will be funny.
I'm sick.
Right, I'm going to run for a piss, guys. It currently says 21 on my feed. If you're still here when you're back, you get like the big bonus. I'm going to have to go for a piss. Too many beers in.
I'm restless. I need to kick this shit before it festers. My life's surrounded by 1,000 things just here to test us, just to rest us. My skin's thicker than a bulletproof vest is. I'm invested, the best I'm suggested, the rest can't contest it. Wish I could get up and kick it all the way down to Texas. I'm reckless, a mess in the mind, it's so congested. So pick your best bitch, I'm a wreck for the test it gives. I'm a chef when it comes to cooking messages. I'm the best shit straight from the chest. If it's a mess, then a test, I will record and put the shit to rest. Little lizards staying blessed, ragging into each and every single one. Another shit is so incest, I detest, I'm unimpressed. All I do is reinvest, all you do is back down and betch. I'm possessed, I could teach this bitch to fetch. I have never found myself not been correct. I'm a master of the game and shit is chess. Leave nothing for a guess, I confess. I'm a sucker for this motherfucking Smith and West. Career a jest, just owning the chamber, a willing Russian roulette. Only when it comes to culture I would never place a serious bet. I slap this bitch up just to visit the vet. I grab this lizard just to feel the effect. This shit is physics or mechanics are tech. I got a gallon of magnets and so these atoms are wreck. How do you flatten this set? Do you agree it's gotta be impossible to disrespect? On another level and nobody really wanna step. Yeah, I'm butter on a beat, a butterfly in effect. I'm only high in a sense, I'm never lying, I'm cleansed. I'm only rhyming for friends, I'm only piping a piper just to frighten and upset. Never biting Mike Tyson, never sitting on a fence. I've heightened the tense, I'm never shy on a fence. I'm only writing for rent, finish line in sight, but I don't know where this shit ends. I'm politely inviting you, take your rights and just blend. I own the right to offend, if I'm a kite then I'm high and tight, till the motherfucking end.
Yes. What number are we at? That's fucking mental. What number are we at here? It still says 21 here, but it needs to update. I can't remember what I left you all on. Can you hear me? I don't even know if we're back in and on and over here, to be fair, because I've changed fucking... Oh yeah, we're in. I think majority of people have stayed with what a set of heroes. Oh... Let's kick it. Yes, JackCity Nick. You're the most important man in your room, mate. As long as you're in and on and over there, you're the most important man in the room. Ain't no doubt about it. Ain't no doubt about it. Yes, Vega. Ain't no doubt about it. I never thought about doing it, JackCity, but I just honestly, I'd have embarrassed myself live on stream if I hadn't gone then. Yes, Jay. Perfect. Perfecto mondo. So Nigel Mitchell said on my last... cheers, Vega. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Nigel Mitchell says, come on, Jack, tell it how it is. I've listened to loads of podcasts this weekend and anyone would think we were bottom of the league. Agree with what you said. Trust me, I am one negative fucker when it comes to Leeds United. So, again, you know, negative Nelly necessarily there, but you know, nothing bad is going on here. Being so entitled and massive must be hard to bear when things go wrong, says John D. Solanimillennium 2484 says, steady on, Jack. You appear to be exhibiting... Shit, I can't talk. I'm a bit tipsy. Steady on, Jack. You appear to be exhibiting adult emotions. Are you sure you're a Leeds fan? That's pretty mint, isn't it? That's a pretty mint comment. I'm going to pin that up. That deserves to go on thing. I'm going to reply to my guy there. My guy. You got a shout out on my live for this. I shouldn't reply to people when I'm pissed. I went on when I were on Just Joe's of the week, and I got loads of pelters for saying that Meslier Silent S is not the worst keeper in the world. I got loads of pelters on there, and then when I was watching it back last Thursday with you boys and Bob, and I've commented to a few people, and I woke up in the morning and I'm like, oh. To be fair, I wasn't that pissed. I could remember commenting, but I don't even know what I'm on about. I'm talking shit. Talking absolute shite. Gillavogie gets a heck of a lot of love, doesn't he? Which is obviously totally fine. But does he get a hell of a lot of love, my guy? Players coming into the club, right? So I heard today, my man Tanaka, our man Tanaka, the man Tanaka. Hey yo, you got me saying Tanaka. My man Tanaka is ready for the Premiership. That's apparently come out of the mouth of somebody in and around Tanaka. Tanaka's mint. At what point? Where you at, boys? Genuinely, with like Tanaka. We all love Tanaka, though. Tanaka's the best player ever. Best player in the world, as Willie Nonto would say. How good do you actually think Tanaka is? I'm being deadly serious now. He's mint, isn't he? He's so mint for us. But how mint is Tanaka? What is weird about... I don't think it's exclusive to Leeds fans, but fans in general. What is weird about it was his agent. Is that right, G60 Nick? Yeah. That the reason why it's an interesting statement is because it wouldn't get said had he not wanted to move on into the Premier League. Yeah, Sakamoto says his agent said it. He's hardly going to say something else, but he might have a point. Yeah, so what does that mean? Was he ready? Was he ready for the Premiership 6 months ago? He didn't. He's in the window now. He's literally in the window. Honestly, Veg, you reckon he's on the Kante's level? I struggle with that, dude. Kante is probably one of the best midfielders of like the past 8 years or whatever. That is seriously high praise. Tanaka's mint, but we've watched him for what, 8 games or something? We've no idea. Tanaka would be a good Premier League bench option. He also might end up being, you know, like a proper mint, you know, maybe mint for somebody like Bournemouth, or they somehow get into a Brighton side or something. We don't know. He might come up with us, and he might be the most nuts. It's also players are different as well when they're built around teams. So like Phillips were really good for us, weren't he? And we went up to Premier League and we were really reliant on him. And I'm not comparing that to him going to Man City. It's just a totally different world. But the world revolved around Phillips when he were at Leeds, and then when he goes to Man City, it doesn't revolve around him anymore. And then suddenly, his career's collapsed, in truth. Tanaka may grow into a fair Premier League player. I think he's obviously got proper ability and may very well end up being a Premier League player. We don't know with any of these players, apart from the players that have shown glimpses. Nonto showed glimpses. Somerville's actually been showing glimpses at Leeds in the Premier League, and then he's been decent apparently for the past few weeks for West Ham. Rutter's form's improved a little bit for Brighton. Dan James is what he is in Premier League. I think he actually deserves a bit more of a go at the Premier League than he's had previously. He went to like I don't like Man U, but they have a pretty deep squad. So, you know, he's in a... I don't know. I don't know how good he is. No idea. An elite 8 is positioned to play balls in traffic. His motor, technical skill. When Ampadu comes in and he moves to 8, we'll get a glimpse. I think that's a shout. Yeah, Sakamoto. I know. Well, that's the reason why he's hot on my mind is Tanaka. I won't leave it because Lockie does. Seriously, like he said, Championship, he wanted to sign Tanaka, and if we'd have gone up last year, he wanted to sign Tanaka. So Tanaka lives in Lockie's head rent free. I just don't know how good he is. I literally have no idea how good he is. It's so hard to know. No goals, now a penalty conceded. I won't be too harsh on the penalty conceded, and I would actually, Hank, I'd go towards what Vega's saying there, saying when Ampadu comes in, he moves to an 8. We'll get a glimpse of what he's doing going forward. He's currently playing the a lot deeper than Rothwell. Rothwell's the one that really we should be sort of getting stuck into for goals and assists. I know they sort of share it, but they also don't share it. I think that's why Ampadu and Gruev, not that they don't work, but I think that's why Ampadu and Gruev are it gets a bit samey, because Gruev just will not. I mean, I actually think he got forced into going forward more this season, because last season when it was Ampadu at centre back, Kamara sort of did more. Not, I mean, he's not as forward thinking as Rothwell, but Gruev was so deep every single time. He was so deep. That's all he's sort of willing to do, isn't it? Whereas I think Tanaka can do both. Bertland, you've smashed me up again. That's the type of analysis we're desperate for on this show. I can't believe I called it a show on this channel. We're desperate for that. By watching his balance, Tanaka might be missing a knacker. And then the emoji is, I think that's an egg. I'm hoping it's an egg. Because if it's a knacker, then it's not as funny. But if it's an egg, like a... Oh, Bertland. Beast mode. Tanaka's a positive for us, that's for sure. That there's no doubt, Ming. That's why it's a topic of conversation. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's like, how mint is this monster? Like, is he that mint? Did you think I'd froze then? Because I've realised I've tried to read a couple of comments and they come through in like leaps and bounds. Then I have to like refresh it. Bag of shit. Crock of shit. Oh, fucking hell. Bit tipsy now, boys. What else we got in locker, kids? We don't know how good Tanaka is. We don't know how good Rodon is. We don't know how good Ampadu is. We don't know how good Bogle is. We don't know... Well, we know how good Firpo is, best player in the world. We don't know how good Gruev is. We don't know how good anybody is. Which would, you know, iron into my... I'd iron that into my thought process of being negative towards the players. This is kind of what I'm saying. If we're going to be like critical about absolutely everything all the time, I think legitimately asking like how good these players are at a better level than we're currently playing at. I don't think there's any argument that these players are at the level that they're playing at. How good are these players when we're in the Premier League? We've no idea, have we? But these players are definitely good enough at this level. Don't know. Been here 2 hours, guys. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. I feel like I should maybe restart the lives after an hour just to do two 1 hours. But normally we're going for about an hour and a half, don't we? But I'm a bit tipsy. Maybe if I restart it, you know, we'll get it going again. I could just go over the same topics again. What do you reckon? Just shoot the shit all over again. If you want to do me a birthday favour, though, I'll tell you what you can do. Get you sending in on and over here, right? I don't know if a link will work in this, to be fair. Will it work? Subscribe to that YouTube channel. I'll see you coming in. I'll see you falling in. And I'd appreciate it tremendously. Because that's where my life resides, you know. Love it, 60. G60. Yes. It's not quite my birthday yet, Vega. I'm an hour off. I'm 59 minutes off. I've been disingenuous. It's clickbait. I'll change it now while I'm here. Nearly birthday boy. Because Bob would have been here if I'd have been birthday boy, wouldn't he? I don't even worry. Ampadu isn't Premier League starter ready. If we're looking to get mid-table in the first season up. I personally think Ampadu and Tanaka keep us up. Centre mid. I think Ampadu will be here a long time, to be honest. I think Ampadu will grow with us. Happy nearly birthday, Sakamoto. Cheers, dude. We did this other week, didn't we? But I think there won't be many players lose their place when we go up next year. Wing backs are a bit of an issue for us. Not quite yet, Craig, but I feel bad taking these happy birthdays before it's actually my birthday. My mum would go crazy. My mum would be like, you gotta go to sleep first, wake up, and then you start getting your happy birthdays. So I feel bad taking the happy birthdays when it ain't my birthday. Motherfuckers acting crazy. Ampadu, Tanaka, Struick, the rest of the bench at best. Vega, that's wild. Honestly, that's wild. So like Nonto, Ramazani, Dan James, Bamford, clickbait, Melier. I know nobody likes Melier right now, but one more sleep, yes, Ming. That's literally what it is. Hey, I'll take that A, Stalks, yes. But my mum would be like, yeah, but have you been to sleep? It's like, you go to sleep, get up. I'd be like, yeah, but on that basis, mum, it's been my birthday for like 4 days because I haven't been to sleep for 4 days, so my birthday never ends. I don't know if you're joking or not there, Craig. I'm well off 24, mate. Well off. I'll take it though. I don't know whether to stay on for an extra hour just to get that birthday vibes in. I wish I could put some tunes on or something, you know, and like just chill out, just chillax. Put tunes on and but video get taken down. Whack. On a serious note, what do you boys reckon to back wall? I'm going to add some stuff. I'll do a bit of a bang on, Craig. Much better, dude. I thought you were joking. Oh, I was just exposed myself, Jay. I don't know how to do a poll, dude. I wish I knew how to do a poll on it, but I don't know how to fucking do a poll. Yeah, back wall. What I need to do is, because that's fuzzy, innit? It's furry. Because it's a really bright light, but it, obviously I don't. That's what lights my room up when I'm making tunes, and I like the backlight. So I need basically a camera that doesn't. I just use my webcam at the minute. I use my wank cam. My, what do you call it? My yes, Ming, just straight up asking people. Appreciate you. Yes, Rich, what's good, brother? I'm all right, mate. How are you? Having a few beers with boys and Bob. Yeah, I've got my brother's a legend, and I've got like a good camera, but I can't. My screen's too big behind I don't have enough room backwards, so it's like just on my fucking end of my nose. I need a different lens for the camera, and then I can stop blinding everybody with backlight. I'm confused about that. Cheers, Peacock. Take it easy, dude. See you in a bit, man. It's got 3 different I don't want to put a dimmer on it, G60. That's what I'm saying, because it lights my room up, and any less light, it's like a daylight thing. And I work really late, so I'll be up till like 2 or 3 in the morning, like try to get some shit done. So any less light, I get a bit dreary. I get a bit tired. So I need to be careful. I need to watch myself. I need to shake myself. I need to watch myself. Tis bright, aye. And it's mad genuinely, because like if I go, so watch this, so I'll flip over to other camera, look, and it's like pitch black. Do you know what I mean? So I need like there's like an in between needed, because it's not that bright, the light. It just lights the room up enough. It's my webcam that's taking too much light in. Beyonce style, mate. Beyonce style, brother. Right, guys. I think after 2 hours and 5 minutes of talking absolute shit. Absolute shit. I'm probably not going to be in for till Friday, maybe, to do a video, to be fair, because as I say, tomorrow's my birthday. Then on Thursday I'm working at night, and I'll be fucked out my head tomorrow. I'll be dead at work. So nobody will want to see me tomorrow for a video. Friday's probably my next best chance of uploading a quick shit vid. I need a shave and all that, boys. I'll be no punani getting licked if I don't sort this fucking beard out. Painful. Although I think when you get stubble, it's even worse, isn't it? I think that's probably like a smoother transaction when you're like, depends, doesn't it? If you're an up and downer, or you just like a dog licker. Fucking hell. Cheers, Rich. Cheers, dude. Appreciate you, man. Oh, boys will be boys. Right, everybody, Junior Firpo is the best footballer in the world. Bamford's a close second. Shout out to all my pussy bandits. Only two things in this world that's important is pussy and beer, and we've got them both over here. So cheers, Sakamoto. Appreciate you, man. No worries for the live, brother. I'm going to do it more. I do it every Thursday on as you well know, as you tune in, my brother, but we won't be going live on Thursday, so this is an earlier than planned underlap. But it was also longer than planned, so eggs is eggs. Take it easy, everybody. Honestly, appreciate every which one of you. Vega, Craig, Rich, A Stalks, G60 Nick, Peacock Whites, Ming, particularly Ming, because Ming hangs out them. He bangs out them memberships like he's Santa Claus. JL UFC. I don't want to miss anybody, but Hank, Peacocks, I think I might have said, but Sakamoto Sensei, who's got a sensational name. Bertland, who makes me laugh religiously. I'm out, boys. Peace out. Subscribe to my Yes Ina. You always drop in that last couple of seconds, and I think like there's always somebody who does it to me. It's normally Trey. It's normally my mate who watches me is behind the scenes when he's watching, and then just as I'm leaving, he drops in, and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know you were there, mate. Let's have a chinwag. Let's have a chat." It's like, nah, just give you a ring, dude. Like, I should just ring you as opposed to like waiting for you to comment on live and be like, "Oh, fucking, oh shit, man. Hey up, dude." It's like, it's no good, man. But yes, thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop talking shit now. So, thank you, Ian. I appreciate you, brother. Big 3 points on Saturday, and then it's all squashed, innit? Cheers, guys. Take it easy. In a bit. Dog. Shit.